This unit that we're covering right now goes over classifying matter based on its physical properties. Yesterday we talked about and focused on one of these, and that was the physical state. We know that there are 3 physical states of matter. So if we classify matter by physical state, there can be up to 3 groups: solid, liquid, and gas. Now, we also mentioned another one, mass. Mass is how much matter is in an object. And we use tools such as a triple beam balance and a double pen balance to help us do this. The next physical property we're going to be classifying by is magnetism. Now, magnetism classifies things into 2 groups. It can either be magnetic or it cannot be magnetic. Now, there are only 4 types of magnetic metals. So that means that not all metals are magnetic. And this word right here, zinc, is going to help you this year memorize what metals are magnetic and which are not. So the only 4 magnetic metals are steel, iron, nickel, and cobalt. And you can test whether something falls under magnetic or non-magnetic with a magnet. So as you can tell, aluminum, copper, zinc are not magnetic, but iron is. The next physical property we're going to be focusing on this unit is relative density. And we can find out something's relative density by using a liquid. So for example, we have 2 blocks here. If something sinks, it is more dense than water, or more dense than the liquid it's in. If something floats, then it is less dense than that liquid. So there are 2 groups that it can be in. Either it floats or either it sinks. If it floats, again, it is less dense than that liquid. If it sinks, then it is more dense than that liquid. The next physical property is solubility. Now, solubility is a substance ability to dissolve in another substance, mostly a liquid. Now, the way that you test this, you take a substance, for let's say example salt, and you pour it into a liquid, and whether or not it dissolves depends its solubility. So for example, salt, if we mix it, salt will eventually break down into such small pieces in the water that you will no longer be able to see it, and it becomes part of the water. So this tells us that salt, because it broke down and became part of the water, it dissolved. So salt is soluble in water. Now there are other things that do not dissolve in water, no matter how hard we stir, and those are non-soluble in water. So there's 2 groups, and the key word is dissolve. Now the final physical property that we're going to be mainly focusing on this year is conductivity. Now conductivity is if matter lets electrical or thermal energy to pass through it. So if energy, electrical or heat, if energy, thermal or electric is able to go through the matter, then it is a conductor. However, if energy is not able to go through and it stops, then that matter is called an insulator. Now, for electrical conductivity, you test if something is an electrical conductor or an insulator using a simple circuit with a battery, some wires, and a light bulb at the end. So if you want to test to see if this cork is an insulator or a conductor, then you would go ahead and connect the cork in the circuit, and as you can tell, the light does not turn on. So energy that cannot go from my wire through the cork and to complete the circuit through the the light bulb. But if we test something like metal, like iron here, you notice that the light turns on. So that means that energy can go from the wire through the metal and complete the circuit turning on the light bulb. So this metal is a conductor, while the cork does not do the same. It stops energy from flowing and therefore it is an insulator. Of course, there are other ways to classify matter, other physical properties besides these big 6 that we're focusing on. There's also shape, color, taste, size, and loads of others that we'll go over here in a second.